Wow, wow, and wow. It's been around 5 years since I scored my very first goal in Rocket League. And little did I know 5 years ago I was playing the best sports game of this generation. And let's get into it. So one way to win me over in just about any game is having a lot of options within your options, and Rocket League does this really well. They got some good gameplay stuff when it comes to video sync, but the bread and butter right here is the camera and the controls. Really in-depth stuff with your camera customization, field of view, camera height, distance, angle, even the way that the swivel speeds. But the biggest thing for me is fully mappable controls. Can change just everything. Clear these key bindings, make them whatever you want. I've changed mine from default controls a long time ago, and I like how they have fully customizable stuff. So just the basic generic presets aren't that very different from each other. Makes the game a lot more accessible. The last time I seen this done properly, or at least the game I played, was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It came out in 2010, so it's been a while since I've seen it, but hopefully more games do this in the future, and it's a lovely addition in this game. So Rocket League's customization has always been pretty good. It's definitely progressed, having multiple presets. Being able to change these presets in between matches now is not the best for navigating in the main menu. You just got to keep scrolling and scrolling. So hopefully it gets updated in the future. But when it comes to actual car customization, you got a lot of things to do. You got decals, the paint jobs, wheels, boost, top rays, antennas, gold explosions. Being able to change your engine sounds. Got some DLC engine sounds here and there. Antennas. And when it comes to things that don't relate directly towards your car, you got your avatar border, player banner, titles, that have, cute little stuff within the community and all that. So, more options is always good. Hopefully, they optimize some of this stuff, make it even better. And now we'll transition into our next pillar, which is Rocket League's exceptional gameplay. So we mentioned customization, we mentioned having great bells and whistles and trinkets. Those are all fine and dandy, but it ultimately wouldn't matter if the gameplay wasn't great. But fortunately for us, Rocket League's gameplay is incredible. This game offers, fast, fluid, chaotic, and accessible gameplay. It's easy to get into, very hard to master. I still suck at the game. Still suck at the game. But when I first started playing, I'm like, wow, it is difficult to hit the ball. I cannot hit the ball. But eventually I progressed, I got better, was able to hit the ball, able to hit the ball into the enemy net, get my first goal 5 years ago. And it was just so satisfying to play this game and absolutely improve, because the skill progression isn't, manipulated or artificial like other games. It's really genuine, it's a good experience, it has a nice learning curve to it. And another thing when it comes to the game in general, there's just so many things to do in this game. There's so many ways to play. You can just focus primarily on defense, you can focus primarily on offense, something I'm guilty of, or you can be a lunatic that runs around trying to demo people all game. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. There's a game within the game. There's so many strats, there's so much nuance, and it's really fun. It's a really in-depth experience. So yeah, the gameplay in Rocket League, it's simply exquisite, as I would say, Hope you're paying attention, because now we're going to be discussing training and getting better at the game. So when the game first came out, training was pretty basic and bare bones. They had a simple tutorial, an advanced tutorial, then they had, different progressions for striking, defending, and aerials. Pretty sure the community's progressed past most of that, so it's kind of useless now, but we do have options when it comes to, free play arenas, being able to select whichever one you want, and having those non-standard arenas in the game as well. The dunk house being one example of that. Another thing is the addition of custom training packs. This allows players, to really hone in on specific skills, really, sharpen up whatever they feel like they're lacking on, aerials, air dribbles, power shots, dribbling, clears, defending, all kinds of stuff. If you think you're bad at it, there's a training pack for it. This hasn't even scratched the surface of what you can actually do on the PC platform, you know, with Baker's mod and all kinds of crazy stuff they got over there. So hopefully we get somewhere close to that in the future. I doubt it currently, but training is in a good spot. Like, you can improve consistently on the console with the way the training is set up. Allow me to interrupt myself briefly and explain, you know, why this is actually important, because other games and developers act like they want to help their players improve, but they don't give them the actual tools or an explanation of mechanics to actually help them. One example of this would be Modern Warfare's Gunsmith. There's a lot of attachments in that game that do the same and different things, but there's no tangible explanation for new players, so that can leave them being handicapped and making terrible decisions when they're building a loadout. But with that out the way, we'll go into our next segment on the highs and lows of this franchise for the last 5 years. Hate to be a negative Nancy, but we might as well start off on some of the bad stuff this franchise has done over the last 5 years, because it's better to end off on a positive note. And one will be, you know, Epic acquiring Psyonix. Like, this hasn't destroyed the game at all, it hasn't done any of that, but it's definitely has stagnated and plateaued some things when it comes to like quality of life improvements. One example is how the voice chat is totally busted. Like, this is one of the few games that has a voice chat that just doesn't work. Like, I don't understand it, it just doesn't work. And one of the more dated controversies will be the introduction of crates on September 8, 2016. Now, the loot boxes, the surprise mechanics, yeah, those are in the game. Crates and keys, and yeah, I mean, a positive of this was that it is a trade market, so you can get something. You could get something, you know, useless to you, but make it, you know, something useful by trading with other players and doing trade ups. But it's microtransactions. Not the biggest fan of that, but at least in Rocket League, it's purely cosmetic. So there is that. Other things they have done, you know, when it comes to, you know, crates and keys, well, on the December 4th update 2019, they retired them and they just, you know, transformed them into blueprints and credits. Same thing, different font. Basically, it's just V-Bucks for Rocket League. And, you know, it's a slightly worse system because it did inflate the value of some of these older items. Like, there will be 6, 7 keys when it comes to like black market decals, because they've been out for a couple of years. But now, you know, they're 2,000 credits, which is the equivalent of $20. And yeah, that's just not an improvement right there. Like, just inflated the value of some of the stuff. That's just not worth it. Other problems, like, you know, I don't know, game stores and all that, item shops, is that, you know, there's just not enough items in there, or the items are overpriced. They did introduce an esports item shop, which is a lot better when it comes to its pricing and its rotation and the amount of items they have available. But yeah, man, it's just that system, you know, they did do a slight downgrade. When it comes to, you know, some gameplay issues that they haven't been too big on that. Like, one of the positives was they added, you know, clear goalposts a few years ago, but a negative was the non-standard arenas in rank. Biggest offenders would be Starbase Arc, but especially Neo Tokyo, and they just had different layouts, so they just didn't bode well for playing in rank. Just people didn't like it at all, and you can't blame them, because rank's supposed to be, you know, the most competitive and balanced version of the game. And you got different stadiums for ranked play. You can still play on that more intricate layouts and game modes like Rumble and private matches. So they did fix that, so that's a positive. They did change that. And just, you know, other small stuff, like when Aquadome first came out, its frame rate on the PC was terrible. It was just terrible. But stuff like that, it got fixed. And now we just transition to our more positive stuff. Now, the biggest one that I have to give, you know, Psyonix the most props and credit for was them being one of the first developers to advocate for cross-platform play. Now, it did have cross-platform play when it first launched for PS4 and PC, but they pushed to get it on the Xbox One and PS4. They pushed for that, and they were successful, and them being successful now led to other big franchises like, I don't know, Call of Duty, Fortnite, also doing the same as well. And, you know, after all the years, after all the platforms been, you know, they have Rocket League available to them now, you can now have full cross-platform play with all 4 platforms. You can all be in a party together, and Rocket League was one, you know, the first, you know, stepping stones to getting cross-platform play in other games, and I can confidently predict that in our future sports games, like, I don't know, FIFA, Madden, 2K, they're gonna have cross-platform. The PC may be a bit to work around, but if the developers actually, they put effort into it, it shouldn't be that hard, because I haven't ran into any, suspected cheaters in playing ranked against PC players, so it shouldn't be an issue if the developers, just look into it and actually put the effort in. Another thing to point out is, Rocket League does have a nice esports scene. Again, some of the things have, stagnant because of Epic, but the esports scene is great, the community is great. They've, produced tons of wonderful content online and in the subreddit. They also have the "This is Rocket League" call from Justin's overtime goal that was featured on ESPN, so they got a lot of good stuff going for them. Hopefully in the future, they they upgrade the engine. This is running on Unreal Engine 3 right now. It's kind of dated, so hopefully they upgrade to Unreal Engine 4, and we kind of get a new game, but it's the same. We have to learn a few things over again, but it'll be really fun, going into the next generation of consoles. And the last thing to to point out, is this game is going free to play. It was recently announced on July 28th they'll be going free to play. They're going to be adding in a lot of legacy rewards for players that have been playing the game for how long you've been playing it. For me, it was 5 years ago, but for people that started playing in 2017, they got stuff for you 2018. They got all kinds of stuff coming in the next big update at the end of this Rocket League Pass. And I'm just looking forward to this game's progression in the future, and especially on next gen. This is the best sports game of the generation. It's not even close. Don't talk to me about 2K or FIFA or Madden. All those games stay relatively the same this generation. They've added some stuff here and there, but this game is the best sports game of this generation. Has great customization, it has great gameplay, and it's just a fun game to play overall. So shout out and thank you to Psyonix for making a wonderful game. Happy 5 years of Rocket League to Psyonix and Epic now. With that out the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe, and I'm out.